Fantastic. Hello, everyone. Thank you for taking time out of your day to participate in today's event titled Reporting to Get BPA Sales. This training session is geared towards contractors that currently have a monthly sales reporting parent MAS contract. This training will focus on the FAS Sales Reporting Portal file upload feature to report to get sales on a monthly basis using the provided upload template. We're hosting separate sessions for those that have a quarterly sales reporting parent contract. So feel free, we're hosting 2 more sessions Thursday. So this session that you're in right now is for those that have a monthly sales reporting MAS contract. Today's session is being recorded, which includes all the chat messages and the Q&A questions as well. If you're uncomfortable with that, feel free to drop off and you can watch the recording once it's posted on the GSA website within the following weeks. Speaking of chat and Q&A, along the bottom of your screen, you'll see the chat and the Q&A functions. My one request from everyone is that you use the Q&A feature to ask any questions. Doing so ensures your question gets reported, ensures it gets noticed, and it's your best chance of getting your question addressed live by our experts. And one last note, I already mentioned we're hosting 2 identical sessions. This one that you're in right now, and then we're hosting another one on Thursday afternoon. So these sessions will be duplicates. We'll be covering the same info in each one. So since you're already here, you don't necessarily need to attend the Thursday session, but you're more than welcome to come back Thursday if you feel like it. Just know they're going to be the same thing and the same material is going to be covered in each one. All right, that's enough for me. At this point, I'm going to turn it over to our expert and our speaker for the day, Mr. Derek Tribble.
Thanks so much, Robin, and welcome everyone. Today we'll be covering, as Robin has mentioned, the monthly upload of your sales of your 2GET, and these are the parent contracts that are also monthly. Good news about this that we'll be having is that now you'll be able to combine your parent contract TDR upload with your 2GET contract, TDR upload, and that's something we'll be covering during this. So this is going to be pretty good. And again, as Robin said, as we go through this, if you have questions, please use the Q&A section and enter those questions in, and we will try to answer them as we go along. And hopefully we'll have a little time at the end to answer any as well. With me today is Don Marcus, the program manager for the FAS Sales Reporting Portal. And again, my name is Derek Tribble. I am the business owner for the FAS SRP. Today, we're going to be covering some overarching FAS guidance, which most everyone on here is going to have insight into the majority of this. We're going to touch on some highlights, some high points. 2GET BPA file upload sales reporting. Don Marcus is going to provide us with a demo of reporting the 2GET BPA sales in the FAS SRP and combining that upload with your parent monthly TDR contract. I'm going to briefly touch on sales adjustments or adjustment to your file upload. And last but not least, we'll cover briefly IFF payment processes and options. So with that, you can have multiple POCs on your contract, meaning your BPA contract can have multiple POCs just like your parent contract. You must be listed on that contract to gain access into the FAS SRP into that particular contract. If you're listed on your parent contract, does not necessarily mean you're going to be on your BPA contract. If you do not see your BPA contract along with your parent contract, that means you're not on both and you need to be added to your BPA contract if you need access into that. Authentication into our system, again, is based on email address accuracy. You need to make sure your email address is accurate. It matches up on all your contracts and what you use to access the system originally, and then that gets you access into all of your contracts. In this training we're doing right now, your parent contract is a monthly reporting contract. That is what we're covering today. You already have a TDR contract, so you go through this monthly upload process and you know the way that it works. Once you're listed on your BPA, both of your contracts will show under the SRP under your one login. There is no need to have 2 logins into the FAS SRP. Every contract you're assigned to based on your email address, that contract shows up under your login. Very important, avoid reporting duplicate sales. And what I mean by that is your sales are either your parent mass contract sales or they are either going to fall up under your BPA contract sales. All of your BPAs, all of your SINs on your BPA contract will have a suffix at the end of BP. That signifies that they're your BP SINs. So make sure you keep your parent sales separate from your BPA contract sales, and when you do your file upload, so you don't have to go through do a bunch of sales adjustments later down the road. File upload is the only acceptable submission process for the to-get BPA program, which more than likely you are probably doing that already for your parent contract through file upload. We have very few contractors that use form entry to do TDR uploads, and not very many doing API or EDI submissions. So you will be doing those through your monthly file upload, as you currently do now. The to-get upload template's been designed specifically for the to-get program. It has what we call an extendable section, which goes out beyond column L, starts at M with additional information, and goes out based on what the program office has set up and requiring you to report up under your BPA. They are the subject matter experts on everything that's out beyond column L. Starting in column M, that is the information that they have asked on top of what we traditionally have. To-get BPA contracts were awarded with the start date of March 31st, 2021. So this means there are currently 2 report periods that are going to need to be completed prior to May 30th. Now, here's where it's going to vary a little bit. Since you all have monthly reporting contracts currently, you got to get this BPA contract caught up with your monthly contract, your monthly parent contract. So for March, what you're going to need to do is, since the contract was only awarded for 1 day in March, nobody's got any sales for March. You're going to need to log in to the SRP under your BPA contract number, go in and use the report 0 sales button and upload. Don Marcus will demo that in a few minutes and show you exactly where he's talking about. That'll cover your March sales. Now, if in April you did have sales under your BPA, you'll need to go in and report those separately, because you've already probably reported your mass parent monthly reporting TDR contract already. So you'll need to go and do the BPA contract this time by itself to get current by May 30th. Also, same thing, if you don't have anything for April, you'll be able to go and click the report 0 sales button and submit that. So once you get the 2 contracts synced together in reporting cycles, that's when we'll be discussing, and that's when you'll be able to convert over to upload both off of the same template. So contractors with monthly TDR reporting contracts can report their parent and their BPA contract using the to-get template to upload both at the same time. That's the important thing, and that's what Don's going to walk us through on the demo here. Your to-get file, BP file upload template is going to look different than what you've had before under your traditional TDR upload template. You're going to have 6 tabs on this template down at the bottom. Everyone already knows the instruction template, or the instruction tab is the first one to the left-hand side. This is going to walk and guide you through what needs to be entered in the report data tab, which is the second tab on your traditional TDR upload contracts. What we have now under the new to-get BPA is you've got 4 additional tabs, which are going to provide additional information to help you fill out those columns beyond column L. You're going to have your Advantage agency data, your VA station numbers, your Air Force DODAX, and contracting office codes. This is all going to assist you in completing the information the program office is requesting. So that also means that once you sync your 2 contracts up, you will be using the to-get BPA to upload, or the to-get BPA template to upload your parent monthly TDR contract along with your to-get BPA, and you will no longer use the standard TDR monthly upload tab. Again, the same rules apply. Do not alter the template in any way. Do not change the tabs around. Do not change the column headers or it will fail to upload. Your 2GIT sales reports must be uploaded monthly. Sales reports are loaded by the 30th day of each month for previous month sales. Save your monthly uploads to a folder for your records. It's also saved online once you have a successful upload. I always tell contractors and recommend you save that successful upload onto your computer somewhere so you have for your own records. It'll assist you later down the road if you need to make a file adjustment or a sales adjustment in the system. Program Office will provide the template to be used for the upload. Now, also on top of that, we know people go in sometimes accidentally and adjust the template around and then can't figure out what they did or why it does not load. So what we're also going to be doing is we're going to be providing Vendor Support Center with a clean copy of that 2GIT template. So if for some reason you can't get a file to upload and it's a template issue, you've adjusted the template around, reach out to the VSC as your first step. They'll have a clean copy, let them know you're part of the 2GIT program and you need a clean copy of the template, and they can email that out to you to get you a fresh copy, so then you can try to do your upload again based on the clean template. Now with that, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to stop sharing and I'm going to turn it over to Don Marcus. He's going to be providing a demo on the monthly TDR reporting parent contracts to show you how this gets combined up into one and allows you to upload. And then also he'll show you where your report 0 feature is at. And then I think he's going to cover also supporting documentations if you'd like to upload any supporting documentation while you're in this process. So with that, I will turn it over to Don.
Thank you, Derek. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen now. And I hope you can see it. This would be my home pages or my landing pages. I would sign into my particular username within the FAS SRP. Cycling through. Again, my name is Don Marcus. I'm the program manager for the FAS SRP. Been doing it since FAS SRP came out back in 2016. Well, before that, it was 2015. So I know the ins and outs of the complete system. So I'm here to help you out and try to make your life a little bit better as you go through this journey. I want to point out a quick admin note. We're having a problem receiving SIN number 54151 BP from the contract file itself, not within our system, but within that. Nicole will be reaching out to the affected vendors after this demo to explain how we're going to proceed, particularly to that one SIN. So I just want to clarify the admin note there. So I'm going to come up and I'm signing into my FAS SRP. I now have a parent and I have a child. My child is the BPA 2GIG, and I am needing to verify my SINs on my contract. So what I want to do is I want to come into here. I want to go to my particular contract under form entry. This is how you can validate the SINs that are on your contract, on your each contract, to make this a better user experience as you do a file upload. So I'm going to put in my BPA number. And as I come in here, I want to just put in some type of task order, delivery order, some number right there, so I can get to this particular table within the FAS SRP. Here I have the SIN block and I have the SIN block. I call these two separate tables. One's a product table and one's a service table. Particularly on this particular contract, my SIN has both a product and a service. So I want to go to product and I want to click on this particular SIN. And these are all the SINs that are assigned underneath my contract number, which is right here. Okay. It's kind of important, you know, in a better user experience to understand sometimes there are system limitations and there could be factors that the SIN might not be there at first. So as I report, I want to make sure. In reference to the 2GIT program, all your SINs should be ending with a BP, okay? Your parent contract will not be the BP, have a BP at the end of the SIN. Your what we call child or BPA, that's one hierarchy below the parent, that would have a BP at the end of the SIN, okay? And that's very important for when we do validations on the file upload. So if some of you are not familiar with this particular process to report zero sales, you would go to, let's go do this again, go to your home, go to form entry, and this is how you would report zero sales. You put in the contract number, you paste it, and we're reporting for hypothetically 4/30 of 2017. So I would have zero sales, I would click the yes oval, and I would submit, okay? So now it's going to record my zero sales for that particular month. It will take me back to my home screen. And for my contract here, I reported zero sales because if I drill into it, it will show right here that I reported zero sales for 4/30 of 2017. All right. So I've quickly explained to you about the one issue we have with the SIN. I've showed you how to check the SIN on the particular contract or on your contracts, depending on how it is. And I've showed you how to report zero sales. Now what I would like to do is I would like to talk to you a little bit about the template. Most of you, if not all of you, have used the file upload template for loading your transactional data on a monthly level or basis, I should say. This is your best friend. Your instructions tab is your best friend. It tells you the do's and the don'ts. The very big important item here is this particular template is unique to this program because it has additional columns that can be reported upon. We cannot remove any of these tabs because systematically it will throw an error message, okay? In reference to your original data elements for TDR A through L, they're located here in row 39 through 51. For the 2GIT program, you click on this link and it brings you over and talks to you about each and every single one of these special columns from M through. It could be AA or AZ. It tells you all definitions on how to report it, if it's number or text, and just explains to you on what it is. I am not the subject matter expert on column M through AA or AZ. I would refer this back to the program office if there's any special requirements of how they want anything. I would just say follow the instructions here and you'll be good to go when you do your transactional data elements. The next one I'd like to talk to you about is the report tab. Now, being a TDR vendor already, you are now getting your second TDR contract. The system has been built for it to both digest both or all your TDR contracts, okay? But we're just going to talk about your parent and child right now. But we have your parent and we have your child, and we call the BPA your child, and it's the systems can parse it out between both contracts. Excuse me?
We're not seeing the spreadsheet.
Oh, I'm sorry. And I'm back to the. Okay, so I will go back and I apologize about that. I thought I had it set up differently. So again, this is the instructions tab, and you have your columns 39 through 51 that tells you the regular TDR data elements. On row 52, you can click the link and it will bring you over to your additional columns that you need to report upon. And it tells you which is required, what's the maximum field, etc. for these particular field descriptions and field labels. Okay, so please review the instructions for this particular contract. It will help you have a better user experience. The next tab I'm going to talk about is report tab. And this is important because you have your parent and you have your BPA underneath here. You can report both or all your TDR contracts as long as they're assigned underneath you, your user, okay? So to help you out here, the system will be able to know the difference between the parent and the 2GIT program, okay? And I'll go into it systematically in just a little bit, but I just wanted to talk to you about, you can line up both, etc. The next item I want to talk to you about is about the file upload. It has 3 validations. The first validation that the system does, it does the contract validation and the SIN that's on the contract, okay? Because if you're trying to report on a contract that doesn't belong to you, it should automatically give you an error message, okay? You might have missed a letter or a character or however it is. And then in reference to the SIN, it needs to make sure that the SIN is appropriate underneath that contract, okay? So you have validation 1. And if there's anything that's wrong with validation 1, it'll automatically stop there. The second validation, it's going to take the SIN and it's going to say, is my SIN a product or service or both? Okay, because you do have the commodity code being products, services, or both. And up here, you have the asterisk that tells you on anything with asterisk tells you it's a service. And on the instructions tab, it would go further into that. But for services, you don't need to report manufacturer name or manufacturer part number. So you kind of like get a little bit, less to report upon. But the system will validate on if it's a product or service and be able to give you an error message on that if you're not filling out all the appropriate fields, okay? And the third validation within the system is your quantity sold by the price per to your total validation. So if you don't have validation 1, your contract number and your SIN's not correct, you can't go any further. So you have to correct all those. And then you would pass validation 1. Then validation 2 would tell you the SIN of what elements would have to be filled out. And then your third one, after you pass validation 2, your price by the quantity as your total amount. We are talking about possibly doing 2 validations instead of 3, but that would also take more time for processing the template. So I just want to talk to you about the 3 different validations because we can't jump from one validation to the next. All right. And then these additional tabs down here, that Advantage Data, it gives you additional information on how to report it on the particular data element. Okay. Just like VA Station, you might be able to use a code or a facility. It gives you more information on how to do it. So what I want to do next, okay, I'm going to have to stop sharing and then bring up my screen again. Okay. I need to share my screen and go to my website. And here we are back at my home screen. All right. And I have 2 contract numbers. All right. I need to go to my home and I'm going to try to file upload for June for my May of 2017. Okay. So I'm going to file upload. May of 2017, I believe I said. I'm going to browse. And I'm going to expect to get a message once I get through this, a rejection message. And I go to the bottom. Okay. This is when I'm attempting to file it. I'm going to refresh it. Okay, it gives me a rejection. And the rejection is, okay, this particular contract has not been reported for a previous reporting period. So I have 2 contracts, okay, on this template, and I have to synchronize them together. So I need to go back to my home page, and my 2 I need to do is I have my 14Z, which is March, and then I have my 01Z, which is April. So I now have to synchronize them together to be able to report 2 contracts on the same upload. Okay, so I need to bring 14Z together. And I'm doing this for 4:30. I'm going to say 0 sales report because this is a training environment. I would never tell anybody to do that for actual reporting. You would have to report accordingly separately up until you got caught up together. So now I'm going to file upload. I'm going to do May 2017, browse. Click my box saying yes, everything's true and accurate, and I don't have above 33% of OLMs. Submit. I'm hitting the refresh button here, and it's been submitted. I have now successfully submitted both my contracts, one a regular TDR vendor, and the other one is a 2 gig vendor. Now what I want to do is I want to go back to my home page. Okay, I just uploaded both contracts under one Excel upload. Now just say in a couple months, I need to go ahead and I need to, under 5.7, under this particular contract, I need to do a sales adjustment. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to click on my contract. I need to do a sales adjustment. I need to come in here and I need to view my data. I need to now download my sales report. Okay, what the system has done is the system took that multiple contract and it parsed it out by contract. Okay, and it brought up everything together that was uploaded together. So when I upload it, okay, I would have to delete the additional elements on this particular contract. All right, save it. And then what I would need to do, I bet you didn't see my screen, did you? Okay. I am now going to download my template. I need to stop sharing. I need to share. Here's a template I just downloaded. And as you can see, it's the exact same template I did. Okay. What I would want to do is I would want to take off the contract number that I don't need to adjust. Okay. I would save it onto my desktop. I would change whatever I needed to change. And then I would go into my upload, my adjust. Then what I would do is I would go into my adjust data by file upload. This is where it becomes a little bit confusing. You can only adjust per contract that's already been reported upon. Okay, so we did a multiple upload. Now you can only adjust on one particular contract. You're not uploading both contracts here. You're only doing one for the particular time period. So I just wanted to point that out to the TDR for you all, that here you only select and you only upload the resubmission of the particular contract that you actually need to resubmit for. Okay. My last element I'd like to talk about is how to load supporting documentation. So here underneath the home, sometimes you might have additional requirements that you need to provide to the program office. And what we've made here is a file cabinet for you. If you have additional reporting requirements, you're allowed to select Manage Support Documentation. This would only work as if you're already reported on the contracts. So we want to go into 001Z. We have reported on these 3 reporting periods. I will select, I will browse what I need to attach. This might be an additional monthly report for environmental purposes, so I would put April 2017. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload it. And here it's uploaded. The only individuals that can see that report would be everybody who's listed on the contract. So go back to your home, 01Z. The only ones who will be able to see this data that you provided are whoever's the contractor's points of view and whoever's the GSA point of contacts here. Those are the only ones that can look at that particular report that was provided. So, you know, on that, that's a good way to keep good record keeping between you and your CS or PCO as you move forward with your mass contract or your BPA contract. With that being said, Derek, I've provided the training and I believe everything's good here. I pass it back to you, sir.
Thanks, Don. Just share my screen again real quick. Got a couple of more slides to go over, and then we'll talk through some of the Q&A stuff that's been kind of tossed over already. Thank you so much for adding that information in there to the Q&A. Looks like all the questions have been addressed up to this point. So it looks like the majority at this point are revolving around not being listed on the contract. I'll give you an email address at the end of this where you can shoot over any questions in regards to that, and we'll dig into that a little bit to make sure your POC information is on there. If you're listed on the contract, it should be showing inside of the SRP, but I'll give you an email address. And then we've also got some administrative contracting officers assigned to these contracts as well. We can get them to assist us to make sure everything's loaded up. But with that, thanks so much, Don, for covering that information. So we're going to talk a little bit about sales adjustments, which Don went over, which is the adjust sales file upload feature inside of the SRP. This kind of goes back to where I had talked earlier about making sure you maintained a copy for your own records of a successful monthly upload. And then also, of course, the system has it kept in there as well. But this will come in handy if you ever do need to make a sales adjustment because you have what was successfully uploaded the first time. The sales adjustment process is a change to the original file upload. And what that means is it's not a delta change, right? So you don't want to go in there and just add in your delta, whether that's an up or down number. You don't want to do that because then it's going to it's just going to just add your delta. This is a complete override of your original submission. So if you reported $100,000 in your to get BPA sales and you realize, oh, I missed an order and I should have reported this, and you go in to do a sales adjustment and you need to add in another $100,000, then your new upload is a $200,000 upload. It's your original plus your additional, right? It's the complete upload of what it should have been. It's not your delta change of that $100,000 delta upward adjustment. It's not that. So yes, so please make sure that you're aware of that when you do the sales adjustments. Payments. There's a couple of things in here that I'm not sure everybody's aware of, so that's why I want to go through this. I know everybody on here has a parent contract. You're already reporting monthly. You're already making IFF payments, but let's touch on a couple of the different ways that you can that you might not be aware of right now. Credit cards. We do have credit cards through pay.gov. Payment amount $24,999.99. That is your limit per day per contract. So make sure you're aware that you can go over that limit. Debit cards. I'm not sure if a lot of people are aware that you can use debit cards to make your IFF payment. Not a lot of businesses have debit cards, but you do have the ability. And if your business is willing to get one and you have some higher IFF fees, there's no limit on debit cards. You actually use the same selection as you would for the credit card reporting through pay.gov. When you pay through the FAS SRP and it sends you over directly to pay.gov, you use that same credit card upload link. The system just knows it's a debit card and doesn't limit you out or restrict you. ACH, now we're getting into larger IFF payments. A lot of the companies that have IFF payments that exceed this $25,000 limit and so on, typically will use like an ACH or what we're going to talk about after that, which is Rex. But ACH, you got to look at ACH. It has no limit, but this is where the government pulls money from your contract. You've set something up with finance then the government comes in at a given point in time and takes that money out of your account. Some people like this, others not so much, right? Because they don't want the government into their banking account pulling money out. So we'll discuss an option to that in just a second. We also have PayPal, $10,000 per day per contract limit that is available through the FAS SRP. Now, the last option I want to talk about is REX, which is basically bill pay like you use at home when you go to pay your electric bill, and it tells you you owe $200 for your electric bill, and you say, okay, I will pay that on this date, and I will push that money from my account over to my electric company. That's what REX does. So it gives a little bit more control, I think, to the contractor themselves about pushing that money, and it's not the government coming in and pulling it out, but you're pushing it when you want to push it out. Now, if you're interested in REX, all you got to do is send an email over to fassrp@gsa.gov. Let us know your contract number or BPA number. Let us know you're interested in REX. We will send you out a package with a POC on it in our finance department, which you can reach out to get that set up and established. So just be aware it is another option. Also remember, now you have two different contracts. You have a parent contract and you have a BPA contract. Even though you were uploading those together, right? They're uploading into the same template and you're uploading those into the FAS SRP. Your IFF is still based at the contract level. So you have to pay your IFF on your parent contract and you have to pay your IFF on your BPA contract. Now, as you already know as well, since you're a monthly reporting TDR contractor, you can pay your IFF monthly. If you opt to do that, same thing on your BPA. You'll be able to pay that monthly. Now, if you choose not to pay monthly, again, you have to pay at a minimum once a quarter. So you can allow those 3 periods to roll up and you can make that one IFF payment for your parent, you can make that one IFF payment for your BPA, or you can do those on a monthly basis. That is at your discretion. We let you guys choose that method however you want. Last thing, general questions. So there's been a lot of this in the Q&A so far about POCs on the contracts. And right now, I've already responded back to a few of those and said, hey, reach out directly, fassrp@gsa.gov. Let's review that. Things we need to know: what's your parent contract? What's your BPA contract? What's the email address you're referencing and thinking that you're not seeing when you log into the system? We need to look into that. We've also got a couple of ACOs that are now assigned to these contracts that we can push some of that information out to, and they can dig into some of that for us as well to make sure that you guys get visibility into those contracts for the people who don't have visibility into them. And you should be seeing those because, again, it's time to report on those contracts. So those type questions, kick them over to fassrp@gsa.gov. We'll start addressing some of those issues and work through those. Technical questions. What do I mean by that? You're trying to upload a file upload, you do it 10 times and it keeps rejecting and it won't upload. I am not the person to call for that. I will probably not have an answer. So with things of that nature, when you try to review all of the error messages that Don showed you earlier, you just can't get that portion of it figured out, reach out to Vendor Support Center. Phone number and email address is listed on here. Let them know the problem you're having. And if they cannot fix it, then they can route that up directly into our technical team at SRP, and they can dig into that problem from the technical side. You're not, I mean, if it comes over to fassrp@gsa.gov, I'm going to turn around and send it right over to vendor support and say, hey, enter a ticket so this can get routed up so it can be reviewed. So yeah, if it's a technical style question, please send it over to vendor support, let them ramp that up and handle it as needed. Now, the last thing is web-based training. And I know everyone on here is in the SRP, you've been in the SRP. Up in the top right-hand corner, there are tutorials up there, just so you're aware. If you want to refresh yourself, there is a manual and there's also tutorials on how to do different functions inside of the SRP. So feel free to go into that section and take a look at that information right there.